Imagine you've been awake for 6 hours. You're not sure if it's morning or evening. There's no window, no sound, not a single living thing within 500 kilometers of you. And the nearest human voice is a 12-minute radio delay away. Now imagine that this isn't a bad dream. This is Tuesday. We talk about space in the language of distance, light years, astronomical units, the incomprehensible scale of emptiness between stars. But there's another kind of distance nobody talks about enough. The distance between what the human mind was built for and what space actually is. And that distance, over time, becomes the most dangerous thing up there. Your body is a machine calibrated by billions of years of Earth, not just gravity and oxygen, but morning light filtering through leaves, the sound of wind, the unconscious rhythm of other people breathing nearby. These aren't luxuries, they're signals. Your nervous system runs on them, the way a clock runs on its spring. Remove them slowly, and something begins to drift. Astronauts on the International Space Station witnessed 16 sunrises in a single day. 16! Dawn doesn't mean anything anymore. Your body tries to adapt, and when it can't, the circadian system, the deep biological clock in your brain, begins to stutter. Sleep becomes fragmented, mood cycles lose their shape, and here's what makes this quietly terrifying. Most people don't notice it happening. The change is too gradual, too familiar. It feels like fatigue. It feels like a bad week. It's neither. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the sound of absolute silence. Not the silence of a quiet room. There's always something in a quiet room. The hum of a refrigerator, air through vents, life just beyond the wall. Now remove all of it. What's left isn't peace. What's left is pressure. The brain, deprived of external input, begins generating its own. Patterns emerge in the static, sounds that aren't there, a shape in your peripheral vision that vanishes when you turn. Researchers call this perceptual drift, the mind filling the void with itself. Now imagine that starting on week 3, and knowing you have 40 more weeks to go. Time does something strange out there. On Earth, time is texture, the smell of coffee, the cold of morning, the heaviness of afternoon. In orbit, in the long corridors of isolation, time flattens. Astronauts report that days start to feel identical, and then indistinct, and then, somehow, both too fast and too slow at once. Some describe a mounting sense that they've lost the thread of their own life, that who they were before the mission is becoming someone they can only barely remember. This is not metaphor, this is cognitive drift. The self, it turns out, is not a fixed thing. It's a story the brain keeps telling itself, updated constantly by contact with the world and with other people. Remove those updates for long enough, and the story starts to lose its ending, its beginning, its voice. The astronauts who fare best are not the strongest or the most disciplined. They're the ones who find rituals. A cup of tea at the same time each day. A photo of home looked at for exactly 2 minutes before sleep. Small anchors. Because the mind, when left without structure, does not rest. It searches. And if it doesn't find something real to hold on to, it will build something. And what it builds isn't always stable. The most unsettling truth about long-duration spaceflight isn't the radiation or the muscle loss or the mechanical failure. It's this. The human mind was not designed for a world without the world. And when you remove enough of what grounds it, light, gravity, touch, time, other people, reality itself begins to soften at the edges. Not dramatically, not all at once, just quietly, persistently, like a signal losing strength over a very long distance. Space doesn't break people in one moment. It erodes them, gently, the way water shapes stone. And the person who comes home is not quite the same person who left. They are someone who now knows, in a way no one else can fully understand, just how much of what we call reality is something the mind is holding together moment by moment, signal by signal, and how little it takes for that to begin to come undone.